Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Deeper Underground Music House blog. I have one tutorial actually to show you, explain to you. A lot of DJs, producers want to know how to do sidechain compression, and a lot of times it is, well, it's kind of overlooked a little bit. So I want to go through how to do it in a kind of quick manner because I don't think this one was ever really explained before. Let's say you have a drum loop such as this. This drum loop has a couple different things going. So what we want to do is show you how to just have the kick compress the pad. And I have a pad going on here through massive, just a D minor chord, playing a simple pad. Okay, so what we want to do is go into the auto effects section of Ableton. We want to drop in a compressor. We want to hit this little arrow over here, and we want to hit the sidechain button. Audio comes from drum clips because that's where my loop is located, but wherever your kick or loop is located, that's what you want to click on. And let's see what happens here. Absolutely nothing. Shocking. So we want to raise the ratio up. I go to infinity. I put the attack all the way down, and you could play with the release all you want. For now, we're going to just use the auto button, the auto release. And we're going to drive the threshold down a little bit here. Now we could hear that pumping sound. But as you can see here, everything, it's not really pumping. It's kind of just smushing down the pad. We don't like that. What we do like is to just the kick to control that. Now, I'm going to raise this back up, the threshold. I enable the EQ button. I want to enable the high pass filter. Now, the kick is usually somewhere around under 100 hertz. So we're going to start at 93. We're going to play this again. Bring this down a little bit more, just to get that kick going. Now, I got it about 70 hertz. Now, that's pretty low. But this kick is a techno kick or a house kick or whatever you want to call it, EDM kick. And that will just solo out the kick to send just the kick signal to trigger the pad. Okay, so now let me do something else. I want to create an audio track. You can't really see what I'm doing. I will tab this over so you can. We will take the audio from Massive, and we're going to record this little thing. We are going to disengage the drum clip. We're going to record some audio. Actually, that is not going to work because we can't have the compressor on. I'm going to back that up and re-record it without any compressed signal. Boom, done. Great. Tab back here so we can see what's going on. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay. And it kind of cut off in the front, so we're just going to use this. It's no big deal. This will work for the tutorial. And we're going to shrink it. And we're going to use it here that much. And I want to actually consolidate this. Okay, and now I want to flip it back to what we're trying to do. I want to collapse these down and just show this. Now, in Ableton, we can create fades. So what we are trying to do is fade this in and have it come in at 1 and fade it back out. Okay. So at 2. So I could put delete a little bit of the clip here, wherever the downbeat's going to be. So I could create another fade. Now, you could also do this in the clips format, but I'm going to show you this way. Okay, so it's going to fade right here, fade back up to about half, fade it down a little bit, fade it back up to not half, it's more like a quarter beat, and continue doing this. And this is basically what the sidechain compressor is going to do here. Okay, so let's re-engage that loop. And this is, you could play around with this a little bit more because it's kind of cut. I did it quick for tutorial purposes, but you could drag this back a little bit and this back a little bit so it's not so cut off at the endings. And this is really just editing more than sidechain compressing, but it's a cool different way to do it. Now, once you're happy with what you have here, you can consolidate this again, and it looks such as this, like you sidechain compressed it. Okay, and that's another quick, different tip on how to sidechain compress. Now you could do this with basically anything. You could do it in the middle, on the side. This is really just more or less editing. Let's say you don't like that sound and you're like, oh, you know, it's a little too choppy. You could just add a reverb, which we could just drop into there, you know, and it'll kind of smooth the sound out a little bit, you know, and play a little bit with the dry and wet, you know, the pre-delay, the decay time, and you should be able to definitely come up with some different kind of sound effect. And that is a little bit a different take on sidechain compression with editing. I'm Rick Cross, and thank you again for joining the Deeper Underground blog.